So taping down all four sides with this masking tape. It's really quite rough. I mean, I must admit I am used to doing it, so maybe I'd find it easier and it's not a problem, but I really wouldn't worry about it. Just get the tape down. So there we have it. Make sure it's all nicely taped, and then I'm going to get this thin tape and I'm roughly going to do halfway across. A bit difficult to judge. And say, yeah, that'll do. Okay, and then I'm going to go halfway again. Just an approximation, I'd say that's about it. And then I'm going quarters. Just put that down there. And then the last quarter, last 2 quarters or 4 quarters. And there we have it. So I want to make sure nice and secure, because you're going to be painting over the top as though it's one picture. So you don't want any seepage underneath your tape. You want to have some nice white lines. So you want to make sure that your tape is nice and secure. I'm going to use the Milan watercolour today. I want some vibrant, strong colours. And I've just got an old round brush to liberally put the paint down. So I'm going to get my water. I'm going to choose my colours. And I think I'm going to go for this lovely green. And I'm just going to get some colour down. So liberally putting this colour on the page because I want it to look really zesty and really nice. The colour's almost like a fluorescent colour. It's really vibrant. I hope it dries like this. We'll see. Just following that round as I go. So going across the tape, and I want each and every one of these squares to look different. So I'm just randomly putting that paint down. So I want a colour that I think would look quite good with it. And I have a feeling this pinky colour might look interesting. See, I've used quite a bit of this regular colour that I used just for its vibrance. Paint underneath is still wet. It will go a bit muddy. Maybe I should have waited, but it doesn't matter. I like to get things done, so I find it very difficult to wait in between. So I'll put some over the wet bits and some not. So I'm liking the way this is looking. Love the colour. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. So I was a little bit impatient. I've used a hairdryer and it's pushed this paint here, but that's fine, not a problem. But what I did find is that the sticky tape was actually coming away from my board. So I've had to re-stick, just make sure everything's secure. Okay, so I've got these lovely, they're little finger inks, and I thought I'd give them a go. I haven't used these in a while, so they might be a little bit dry, I don't really know, but I thought I'd just give them a go, and I found this colour and thought that would look great. So I'm just going to see whether I can whether this will just go on like this and just see what happens. So I'm just going to randomly, oh, that looks quite good, randomly put some colours down and see how it goes. Not worrying about the placement of it. You might be particular, you might think, well, I want them all in the corners or I want them all in the middle, and that's fine if you want to have them in a specific place. But for me, it's random. I just like to get the colour down and then see where I go from there. So I quite like them. Quite happy with how that looks. Okay, so I've got this colour. It's a sort of tree stencil. And I'm just going to do the same thing with this. See whether this works doing this. Bring it straight onto the page, whether that's working. Oh, it's put some lines down. It's not as successful as the other one. I think there were more holes in the other one. Oh, I like that. That's nice. Well, it's rather good, I think. Oops. You could secure this down with a bit of tape. As you can see, I'm just putting it on. So I've got a gold pen here, and I am literally going to scribble over the page, just because I like a little bit of more interest. And I always find having a good old scribble is very therapeutic. Feel all good when you just let yourself free and letting it all go. So just scribble with anything, a pencil, pen, anything you have. So I've got this lovely pink paint in this squeegy tube, and I thought I'd just put some marks on the page. So sometimes it can be quite difficult to be random. But yeah, I'm trying. So I've grabbed another squeegee bottle with the purple paint on, and I'm sort of mimicking writing. So it's sort of a scribbly kind of writing over the page, going across those tape bands, not worrying about that. And then I've got some Faber-Castell metallic pencils and some of the paler parts of the page I thought looked a bit stark. So I'm just doing a little bit of colouring in, and I really enjoy colouring in. So this is a really good way to relax, just colouring in and getting rid of those harsh kind of white marks. I then decided to go for a white paint pen. This is a very fine Posca paint pen, and I'm just putting some little dashes here and there, and then encircling some other marks. What I found was that the white Posca pen didn't work very well on the lighter colour paints, but on the darker, richer pinks and the darker greens, you could really see the marks on there. So just continuing and having a look, seeing what else needs doing. And I decided that I'd grab that purple squeegee bottle again, just because using the squeegee bottle is so much fun, and I thought I'll put some dots here and there. That's really, really fun to do. If you haven't got a squeegee bottle, what I suggest you do is getting a paintbrush and just dabbing it in your acrylic paint or your watercolor paint and dabbing that on. It will give a very similar effect, so don't worry if you haven't got those. So then I've heated up the tape with the hairdryer, and this is the most satisfying bit, isn't it, when you're revealing the lovely picture, peeling away, and you can see those lovely lines coming down and then across. And again, heated up the side tape and carefully trying to peel that without ripping the page at all. Quite devastated when I rip the page and have to glue it down again. So I'm bringing this up to the screen so you can see the lovely detail, and it's been really enjoyable to do this one, and I really hope you get to try and maybe leave me a comment. Let me know how you get on. I would love to hear from you. Okay then, have a good day. Bye.